The problem is we don't raise the baby no differently than we was raised. So if I'm on drugs, now my son on drugs, my grandson on drugs. I'm a homosexual, my son's a homosexual, my great-grandson's a homosexual. Because it takes a lot of willpower and spiritual inclination to change what was done to us. Two things. Number one, we already have light skin supremacy in the black community. Light skin supremacy is the rule of order for blacks. In other words, white supremacy, which is the parent of light skin supremacy, dictates that those who are of lighter hue must rule those who are of darker hue. That doesn't mean that if you're light skinned, you're a light skin supremacist. It just means that many of our light skinned brothers and sisters, not most or all, but many, do believe in light skin supremacy. And if you ascribe to light skin supremacy, you also believe in white supremacy, because that is where the foundational ideology comes from. So if I'm a light-skinned supremacist and I believe myself to be better than a brother who's darker, I must also, by default, believe that the white man is better than me. But along with light-skinned supremacy, there is a homosexual supremacy that's coming into the black community now. In fact, over the next 10 or 20 years, most black men in public office, most black men who are instructors on the collegiate level, most black men of influence and so-called power will be homosexual. The sister said it best, that the white man does not fear an effeminate black man.
Hold on. Say that again.
Yes, indeed. You're going to see the rule of homosexual supremacy in the black community. In other words, any black man of substance over the next 10 to 20 years must by necessity be a homosexual. If he's not, he will not be allowed to ascend within the power structure.
Damn.
Because the white man does not fear effeminate or homosexual black men. Because, and for all intents and purposes, the homosexual and effeminate black man is the white man's. Excuse my French.
No, go ahead.
So we have to understand that. And that also means that when we raise our boys, we got to raise them as men. And one thing we have to understand, the reason why black women are mistreating the boys is because they are displacing the anger and rage and frustration that they have for the father onto the boy. And so what happens is he becomes, the object of ridicule. She doesn't even know she's doing it unconsciously. But when she looks at him, all she sees is the father who did her wrong. And unfortunately, by mistreating her son, guess what? She keeps the cycle. It perpetuates. Because now he begins to scorn black women by the way his mother treated him.
Right.
So the cycle continues. See, the problem with the black community is that we continue the same failing cycles. Every time a new African baby is born, we have a chance to rewrite history. Every time a baby comes out. The problem is we don't raise the baby no differently than we was raised. So if I'm on drugs, now my son on drugs, my grandson on drugs. I'm a homosexual, my son's a homosexual, my great-grandson's a homosexual. Because it takes a lot of willpower and spiritual inclination to change what was done to us. And one of the reasons why black people continue to suffer the same sickness that we've been suffering since the end of slavery is because we are so interested in changing our environment, but we refuse to change ourselves. Every black man and woman has within them a small white man and a small white woman inside of you. We all have it by virtue of the conditioning. And in order for us to become African again, we have to exercise the demon of the enemy. Until we take the white man out of us, we'll never be free. You can take you out of slavery, but if you don't take the slave out of your consciousness, you will always be one. And that's why no matter how often we fight, no matter how often we struggle, we end up with the same Malou. Because although we're fighting the outside, nobody's killing the white man inside.
Damn.
Sexual exploitation of women. It is materialistic consumption. It is smoking marijuana or selling drugs. And it is killing other black men. I don't care what rap song it is. It has those four deconstructive, degenerative elements within it.